All right, there's some concerns about the Lions' offensive line. Let's talk about it. Excuse me. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm not as concerned. Um, Most people freaking out over it. I'm not. I might be in the minority. Rutledge, Ratledge. I think it's Ratledge. Hopefully I said it right. He was pretty much prepped to be a center in Georgia, and they feel like he's advanced enough to step in and play that position. Now, you won't know into the past. Come on. Then, make sure my mic on. We'll have a better idea of what we got. But then you got to understand, Decker been here a long time. Mahogany played really, really well next to Decker last year. Graham Glasgow been here, left, came back. Worst case scenario, he could play center. Panisa Will, he been there. So reality, 3 out of 5 been here for a long time. The fourth guy in Mahogany fit very, very well being a 6th-round draft pick. I mean, his transition, going into the line was great. I mean, so you losing Zyford and the way Mahogany played when he came back. I mean, it was like, really, you want to go back to the old guard as far as the old guy, or you want a youth movement? And Mahogany, he fell in the draft based on one leg being longer than the other was the rumor, if I can remember correctly. Then you have guys where you've been prepping behind those guys like what's the African name? They still have him, Asquat. I like him a lot. I'm pretty mispronouncing his name. Corey Sorsdale, the Manu Giovanni guy, which I think eventually, if I'm a betting man, I feel like he's going to be the right tackle of the future. What's going to happen to Swell? He's going to flip the left. Then you talk about you bring in a guy like Miles Frazier, who's played at 2 different colleges, came from LSU, played every position across the offensive line, center, guard, tackles position. So you got so many options. You got some Dan Skipper, you got so much depth. So in reality, they're in a great position to eventually replace Taylor Decker in the next 2 or 3 years, getting Manu Giovanni prepped up and being ready. So yeah, they put a lot of stock into the offensive line. They understand how important it is, and causes for concerns that maybe the average fan may not know. One of the main causes for concern is actually like passing wise and who handling the audibles. Usually the center is the ones that's making those line audibles, and then you got to understand the center is the quickest way to the quarterback through the center, straight up to the middle. So you got to make sure he understands his assignments and not to let nobody free in Jared Goff. And then the other shit is run defense is run blocking is should be a seamless transition for those guys, but then again, there's still assignments to be had there. So yeah, there's assignments still to be had there. So no, it is what it is. It is what it is. So honestly, I just don't. I mean, it could be a huge concern because the whole thing is Goff is immobile, and apparently in the documentary showed that he played with a bum ankle. So now he ain't the most mobile guy out there, and now you concerned. But for the most part, they've done a great job transitioning this line. You bring in Sewell as a new transition. At some point, Glasgow is probably going to go to overtook by Manu or Frazier or Sorsdale. At some point, Decker's probably going to get overtaken by Sewell, possibly somebody else, and somebody's going to take the right tackle position. They have a lot of potential answers out here on the offensive line. They have a lot of potential answers. So, yeah, I will. I mean, They're like they got a whole new 5 or a whole new 4, shit, a whole new 3. Really, you got a whole new 1. But that's a critical position, that center position. So, but they got a guy that played center for many years in Detroit and Graham Glasgow. He was a center, I think, before Frank Ragnow moved to center because they put him at guard. And then, you know, Miles Frazier's played some center. Rutledge's been prepped to be some center. So it feel pretty good about where they at. And he a different kind of center than Ragnow. That dude's a big guy, about 3 inches taller, 6'7", big guy. You know what I'm saying? So for years we had an undersized center, before all this came, and now you're getting a little bit more physical, and so they gonna look the thing about John Morton is what type of offense they gonna have. Is he gonna have to be in check to run the ball? Are they gonna look to run the ball? Are they gonna look to be more balanced? Are they gonna keep the philosophy of throwing the ball to open up the run? I'm interested to see his philosophy. In reality, if you really do feel like you're breaking in a new offensive line, the philosophy is run the ball. If you can get those guys going forward and get them imposing their will, it's easier for them to kind of backpedal and block. So, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, but it's not a big concern for me. Obviously, the biggest concern is on the defensive side of the field, but other than that, it's a solid bunch. It's a really, football. It's a good football team without too many weaknesses when you think about it. Kicker good, punter good, returner good, quarterback good, tight end good, line been good, backs been good, receivers has been good. Stop the run at the elite level. Linebackers, they work well together. Defensive backfield, they great. So really, the thing is, hey man, how do we put this all together and win a Super Bowl? That's one thing about the NFL. It's always a revolving door because of injuries, and then you've seen a lot of players just walk away. It's a lot on the body. Now you adding a 17th game. They're trying to add an 18th game. In reality, 14 is where it should have stopped at. 14 is probably where it stopped. How many games they play in college? So I say about 14 games is where it should have stopped at. But, greed. Greed is why, a lot of people are sick in America. It's because the greed of medicine not to really find a cure, the greed of cutting corners with the food and putting fillers and soy in the food so it can last longer and they can make more money. That's why. It's greed. There's greed. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. I'll hit the link tree. It's the first link in the description. You can follow me on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9. Peace.